You have just clicked on a crazy Chicago gang story about a gang that was mostly EBK, which stands for Everybody Killer, and pretty much has no allies around Chicago.
We on the way, King Quan. And we got switches. King Quan. And we out here. Yeah, all in. Stop playing with us, bitch. Old block. And out here.
757 is a Gangster Disciple alliance made by 3 Gangster Disciple sets, which are RocNation 027, Lawless 035, and the AV 037. The name 757 comes from the last digits of the numbers, but going back before 757 was even made was back before 2013, and it was just them 3 sets being cool with each other. And one of the first deaths that got everything sparked off was on January 7th, 2006. A guy by the name of Stephen Holloman, aka Stefan, from So Icy / Welch World, was standing in a 6900 block of South Dorchester Avenue when someone pulled up on him and shot him around 9 AM, hitting him multiple times in the chest. This was one of the first murders to spark off the beef between 757 and Welch World, but on December 12th, 2008, one of the first Lawless 035 members will lose their life. 24-year-old K-Main Fears, aka Insane, from the Lawless set, was sitting outside of his home in a car in the 3700 block of South Cullinan Avenue when police say someone approached and fired shots into the car before fleeing on foot. Around this time, 757 was beefing hard with Welch World, and they would start losing members back to back over the years. But this next member was killed by police. On December 3rd, 2009, Rashawn Johnson, aka Marley from RocNation, was shot after police had pulled over a stolen car that he was in. He allegedly pointed a gun at officers, but on April 2nd, 2010, Neef Streetz, aka Maine, from the AV 037 set, was in the 3800 block of South Michigan Avenue when allegedly someone in a car drove by and fired multiple shots, striking Jermaine, leaving him dead on the scene at about 12:15 AM. Then it was another Lawless member that lost his life, because on April 25th, 2010, Jamar World from the Lawless set, plus he was from Pockettown too. Shortly after 1 AM, police responded to a call of a shooting in the 8300 block of South Chicago Avenue, and when police arrived, they found 21-year-old Jamar suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. He was later taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. All of these murders was catching up to 757, and they knew that they had to do something about it to make a statement. So they went to take out another Welch World member, because on May 15th, 2010, they would take out one of the most notable So Icy / Welch World members and would create Welch World in his honor. But on May 15th, 2010, just around 7 PM near East 40th Street and South King Drive, Anthony Welch, aka Welch, was only 19 at the age of his death and was standing outside when he was killed. Plus his friend was shot in the leg and was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. This was a big loss for So Icy / Welch World, and after Anthony Welch died, they created Welch World in his honor. Plus this will only make Welch World one more get back for their brother, and allegedly they lined up their next target on February 5th, 2015. This couple was explained to be like Bonnie and Clyde and will go on multiple hits with each other. Little did they know that they was one of the biggest targets on Welch World's list to get next, and there was one well-known Welch World member out to get him, which was Tay Savage. February 5th, 2011, Princess Streeter, aka Cess, from the AV set, was in the 2600 block of East 75th Street when allegedly Tay Savage walked up on her and shot her 6 times. This was a big statement kill for Welch World because her boyfriend Neef was allegedly responsible for the murder of Anthony Welch. Plus, Tay Savage was even arrested for this murder and was released about a month later on bond, and when he got out, he added another person onto his hit list. April 10th, 2011, only 2 months after Princess Streeter died, Tay Savage would allegedly catch Christopher Daniels, aka Neef, from the AV set, and was also Princess Streeter's boyfriend. 22-year-old Christopher Daniels was stopped at a street light in his car in a 7400 block of South Venetians Avenue when allegedly Tay Savage got out of another vehicle that was in front of his car and began to open fire. Neef then threw his car in reverse and tried to get away, but Tay Savage chased down the car on foot and kept shooting until Neef crashed the car into another parked car. This was a big loss for 757, and T Savage is still serving time of today for murdering the couple. But 757 would line up their next member for Retaliation. Only about a month later, on May 12, 2011, Timothy Wardlow, aka Lil Tim, was standing in the 3900 block of South Lake Park Avenue when someone pulled up on him and fired shots at around 4 p.m. and he was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead at 9:51 p.m. After this murder, things would kinda cool down, and nobody else would lose their life until about a year later. On April 14th, 2012, at about 2:25 a.m., police heard gunfire and seen a man shoot another man several times right near 142nd Street and Chicago Road in South Suburb. The victim was identified as Darnell Robinson, aka Dirty from RocNation. He was also known to mess with Princess Streeter from the block too. Police then approached the gunshot victim and the gunman. The gunman, who had begun shooting in front of a club nearby, fired shots at police and ran a half block away. Police then opened fire on him, striking the gunman, leaving him in critical condition. The gunman and Darnell Robinson was taken to the hospital, where they both died from their injuries. The next member on 757's hit list was another MTGO39 member. It was December 1st, 2012. Walter Pete, aka Millie from the MTGO9 set, was in the 200 block of West 37th Street in Armour Park when a gunman approached him, killing him at the age of 29. Around this time, beef was getting real heavy, and 757 had to do something to add stronger manpower, and his next murder was the beginning of 757. May 20th, 2013, at around 8:15 p.m., Tory Stewart, aka Snoop from the Lawless set, was hanging around the 3100 block of South Rose Avenue when someone walked up and shot him in the head. He was taken to Memorial Hospital where he was pronounced dead at 11:41 p.m. This was a big turning point for 757, and after Snoop was killed, 027 RocNation, 035 Lawless, and the AV 037 all came together, and that's when they made 757, even though they was already clicked up before 757 was made, which 757 stands for the last numbers in the set. Then it was August 15th, 2014. Walter Neely, aka Walt from Welch World, was shot in the 3500 block of South Michigan Avenue. He was taken to the hospital where he died 30 minutes later at the age of 25 years old. Before 757 had became an alliance, Lawless and the AV were already cool with 051 Young Money, but RocNation used to beef with 051 Young Money, and they even made a diss track named 051 Young Money Diss. They would later settle their differences around 2013 to 2014 and would end the beef of today and are now clicked up. Plus around 2014 to 15, 757 would start the beef with MTGO39 heavy, and on July 9th, 2015, they would line up their next member on their hit list. He was only 17 years old. At around 10:05 p.m., Kenneth Haberb, aka Kimmo from the MTGO39 set, was in the 6600 block of South Blackstone Avenue when a man walked up to him and fired multiple shots at him. MTG Kimmo was pronounced dead at the scene. Then it was December 4th, 2016, when another 757 member would be killed. Shortly before 2 a.m., D'Angelo Martin was standing with a group of people in the 7300 block of South Yale when a gunman erupted and D'Angelo was shot multiple times in the neck. A friend drove him to the hospital where he was pronounced dead at 2:52 a.m. All of these murders throughout the years was pretty much back and forth. Welch World, MTGO39, and 757 were all losing members consistently, but then less than a month later, Welch World would take a big loss because they would lose 2 members in the same day. December 25th, 2016, Roy Gill and James Gill, aka Gotti and Bay, both brothers, spent Christmas night at a family's party in Chicago's East Chatham neighborhood. Plus, they were shooting dice with their cousin on the front porch of a brick house. The weather was good for December, and the game was going on for a while. Then at 9:20 p.m., someone in a gray hoodie came through the south alley and opened fire. The gunshots were so loud and so close together that a neighbor across the street thought that someone was hitting his window. James Gill, 18 years of age, and Roy Gill, 21 years of age, were both pronounced dead at the hospital. But then on May 18th, 2017, Rayshawn Price, aka Ray Ray from 757, was only 16 years of age. And the last time his family seen him was smiling watching basketball on Easter. It was around about 8:30 p.m. on May 18th, 2017. Rayshawn Price was standing outside with a group of friends when a car suddenly pulled up and began shooting at the group. The group began to run, but Rayshawn Price, aka Ray Ray from 757, was hit and he died at the age of 16. After this 757 member would die, 757 members would die back to back over the years, but 757 wouldn't lose another member until August 24th, 2019. At about 6:40 p.m., Carlos Allen, aka Carter from 757, was inside a vehicle in the 200 block of East 41st Street when a black SUV following behind him drove up beside him and someone inside fired shots. The black SUV then fled the scene westbound on 41st Street, but Carlos Allen, aka Carter, was shot multiple times and was taken to University of Chicago Medical Center in critical condition but later died from his injuries. Then on April 25th, 2020, officers responded to a shot spotter alert at 4:08 a.m. in the 300 block of East 61st Street. When they arrived, they found Cavante Burnett Williams, aka Taynor from 757. He was found with gunshot wounds to the head. Then on February 8th, 2021, Keontae Millette, aka Gunsmoke Gutter from 757, was found outside at about 5:40 p.m. in the 7300 block of South Dante Avenue with gunshot wounds to the face and neck. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Then on March 21st, 2021, Jawan Davis, aka Big Folks from 757, was in the parking lot at the DMV at about 1:35 p.m. when someone pulled up on him and shot him multiple times. He was taken to the hospital where he later died from his injuries. But the police chased the suspect's car to an area near 99th and Roberts Road. When the two suspects abandoned their car and tried to carjack another vehicle, they allegedly threatened the Tesla owner who left the car to the carjackers. But after getting in the car, they couldn't figure out how to get it started, and that delay allowed police to catch up with him and arrest him. The suspects was identified as Matthew Givens, 23 years of age, and Cortez Hudson, 23 years of age. Both was charged with murder and attempted carjacking charges, and I think they are from MTGO 39, but correct me if I'm wrong. Then on April 5th, 2021, Richard Cade, aka Ricky from 757, stepped outside at about 1:15 a.m. and was shot in his back on a sidewalk in the 10500 block of South Maryland Avenue. He was then taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Then 757 went to take out another MTGO 39 member. May 5th, 2021, Derek Metcalf, aka D Nice from MTGO 39, was shot in his head in front of his home in the 200 block of West 37th Street. He was 36 years of age and was pronounced dead at the scene. Then on July 2nd, 2021, a 27-year-old man was found dead of gunshot wounds that Friday morning. He was identified as Deshaun Shea, aka Flocka from 757. He was found in the 4400 block of Washington Street and was pronounced dead at 5:45 a.m. Then the last person on our list was killed on July 8th, 2021. DeAndre Abrams, aka Donji from MTGO 39, was standing outside in front of a residence at about 2:15 p.m. in the 3900 block of South Princeton Avenue when a vehicle pulled up and someone inside fired shots, striking 26-year-old DeAndre in the face. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead from his injuries. This marks the 26th person that lost their life from this war in Chicago, and these videos have no intent of any negative impact, but is intended to bring light and awareness to people around the world and shows the dangerous results of joining any gang or living a so-called street life. And my prayers and condolences go to the people that lost their loved ones in this war. But make sure you like or dislike, comment, and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what y'all want to see next. And as always, stay blessed and stay well. Yeah, I'm out.